Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Jada Walker. I am your host for today's conversation, and my guest today is Alex Avetian. She is the co-founder of Road. We'll be talking about her business, journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and a peek at what it's really like to build and operate a business. So, Alex, welcome to the show, and thank you for being here today. I
Hi,
would love
thank you
for
for
you
having me.
yeah. And I would love for you to share a little bit of your background of who you are and tell us a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Alex Avetian. I grew up in LA, went to school there and everything, spent some time kind of traveling around, got my MBA in Arizona, shout out to Thunderbird, and then kind of always gravitated towards startups, gravitated towards like early builds, always loved that. So found myself in the startup world for a long time. And then once again, accidentally fell into the logistics world. Um, and I worked my way through a couple of really cool, interesting companies, and then found myself working with my partner on building out our model for all around. So the company that we're working with now is, oh, I think you might have disconnected.
Okay, I wasn't sure if
Uh,
you heard me, but I was like, my whole
yeah,
Zoom just like,
yeah, I think you froze and then you like locked out.
okay, I will restart that so that
No
I'm
worries, let's
like,
do that
what
again.
in the
One more
heck?
time. Sorry, that's why it's recorded, right? We'll do another take.
Yeah, I was sitting here, I was just like, is it frozen? Because yeah, okay, we'll restart. Okay,
No worries.
goodness gracious.
We got this. Today's like a
All
totally
right, we
smooth
got
day.
this. It's Monday, definitely a Monday.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Welcome to the Business Spotlight. My name is Jada Walker. I am your host for today's conversation. And my guest today is Alex Avetian. She is the co founder of Road. We'll be talking about her journey to business ownership, challenges, best practices, and share a peek of what it's really like to build and operate a business. So, Alex, welcome to the show and thank you for being here today. I would love for you to share with us a little bit about your background, of who you are, and share a little bit about your business as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. Yes, I'm Alex Avetian. I'm the co-founder of All Around, and originally from Georgia, the country, not the state. I always have to say that as people ask me about Atlanta, and I'm like, I don't know, I've never been. so, from Georgia, the country, not the state. I grew up in LA. Went to school there, traveled around, spent some. Got my master's in Arizona. A shout out to Thunderbird, where I got my MBA. And then I always like to build new stuff. I always had, a million business ideas. They're like going to make
Yeah.
it big. So found myself in the startup world, loved it, loved to build something from scratch, something new. Uh, Likewise, then found myself kind of accidentally falling into the logistics world. When I moved to Austin, where I'm based out of now, and I've spent almost 12 years now in logistics. And that's kind of how the whole idea for all around came about with myself and my business partner. And so now I'm the co-founder of All Around. We're based out of here in Austin. And what we do is quite simple, is we provide full service fulfillment and logistics, so deliveries and returns for e-commerce brands, but we use the gig economy exclusively. So we actually turn people's houses into mini warehouses. So people that
Oh,
partner with us, we call those guys garage buddies. Our garage buddies store inventory in their homes. When orders come in that match certain criteria, they actually pick and pack that order. And then route buddies will deliver those if they are local orders, let's say within the Austin zone, and pick up any returns that are needed. And if not, we'll use a carrier like UPS to send them out. So we basically are unlocking billions of cubic feet of residential space for fulfillment.
wow. Because I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, it's almost like you're like a third party type of delivery thing, like, or not like third party.
Yeah, so think of it like a standard 3PL that you would partner. Like, let's say
Mm,
you own an e-com store and you sell those the t-shirts that you wear, right? Your
yeah,
t-shirt
yeah,
shop. You could fulfill it yourself, right? Get your own
right.
warehouse, do your own thing. A lot of times brands don't want to do that because they want to grow. They want to focus on sales. They don't want to
Mm-hmm.
focus on the ops, right? So they'll partner with
Right.
something like a 3PL, which is just a company that's a giant warehouse somewhere. They might have multiple warehouses, and they'll fulfill orders for you and other brands, right?
Oh,
And we'll
cool.
charge you for it. And so what we're doing is kind of taking that model and flipping it in that, why have us pay for a giant warehouse? why have to pay for a lot of employees and all these things that come with it, where people want to work, people want to monetize their homes, right? We know with the
Yeah.
Uber model, right, with the Airbnb model, people want to monetize what they have. So why not monetize your home space as well as kind of a part of your labor and work with us?
No, that's really cool because I mean, I would have never thought to do that. I've seen like people do that online themselves, but I've never seen them actually like use another company to help them do that. That's really cool. So let's set the view for the or set the stage for the viewers and listeners. So generally speaking, what does your current ownership structure look like? Like, because I know you are the co-founder, so how does that work with your other co-founder?
Yeah, so both of us we're equal partners, right, in the business,
Yeah,
and we are in the process of starting a fundraise for the business. So obviously, the like equity structure is going to eventually change when we take on investors.
nice. I was actually going to ask, do you guys have any investors that you're looking at? But that's good. You already have.
Yeah, so we have raised some funds already, and we're in the process of doing kind of like a rolling raise, so raising more and more.
So how does that go? Like whenever you have to like reach out to people for funding, like how does that conversation kind of start?
It depends on who you're talking to, right? If it's like an angel investor, so it's like an individual that cuts
Mm-hmm.
checks, right? They usually are either part of like an angel group that you
Oh,
reach
okay.
out to, or you know somebody, right? Usually people like reach out to their friends and family first, right, to see if
Yeah.
they're interested or not. So that then there's also, venture capital firms, right, like VC firms that usually have like a specialization, whether it's like an industry or geographic zone, and they kind of have stricter rules around, we only look at companies that are in this stage or in this phase. So it kind
Okay.
of just depends, but you can oftentimes do cold outreach to those guys. They have analysts that like look through all the decks that come in eventually.
Oh.
And then you'll hear back either like, hey, yeah, let's set up a call, or, you don't fit our thesis. Let's say they're not interested in like a logistics space, or they're only into deep tech or fintech or something where they just don't fit the criteria. We're also, just like a small plug, as we're doing a pitch competition actually next Wednesday. So all
Oh,
around,
cool.
we'll be pitching at Startup Mania at the start of South by Southwest. So that'll be fun.
Oh,
It's also a
nice.
way to like pitch yourself in front of a bunch of investors and
Yeah.
raise some interest, I guess,
Yeah.
and like further the conversations, because of that.
I like how you're getting out like during South by Southwest. I'm not gonna be able to this year. I wanted to
It
volunteer because I just think it's so cool and I just want to be around that energy.
is a great energy. Yeah, I do love it too.
Yeah. But when I went on there, it was like not letting me schedule anything. So I was just like, okay, I'll just wait till next year again.
Well, they're making big changes this year, right? It's only like 1 week this year, so I think there's going to
Yeah.
be big changes. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, maybe I'll be downtown and I'll still see you at some point. Like that'd be really cool.
But there's also so many just like free events that you can go to
Yeah.
that are outside of the badge, so that you could still go and have like a lot of cool experiences.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to convince my boyfriend to go with me because I'm like, I'm like, you might get discovered. He like everyone always tells him that he should be in movies or like he should model. I'm like, just let's just go
That's the
downtown.
place. That's the place.
I'm literally like, let's just go. Well, back to talking about your business. Could you actually tell me a little about the current role that you play in the business, being the C or not the CEO, the co-founder?
I mean, listen, we're a small startup, so I do everything. That's the that's the short of it, right? What don't I do is the question. So a lot of the kind of day-to-day ops, managing the garage buddies, working with our dev team. So we have a development team in Armenia that is building out like more technology, like a mobile app for the garage buddies and for the
Oh,
route
nice.
buddies. So talking to those guys, right, making sure they have everything they need. Obviously me and my partner talk like every day, 10, 20
Yeah.
times a day, as you can imagine. So following up with any leads, right, setting up calls with customers, going, redlining contract if they have questions. So anything and everything the business requires. I think we're a little too early to be siloed in our responsibilities.
Yeah. How long have you guys been in business again? I
A
think
year
you
and a
kind of said
half.
it.
A year
Oh,
and a half.
yeah. That's not bad.
But it's been a fun ride. I mean, in the year and a half, I'll give you some stats. We've
Yeah.
touched about 15,000 orders at this
Oh,
point,
wow.
which is pretty cool.
No,
Granted,
really,
obviously, it
yeah.
was slow ramp up in the beginning with our one or two first customers. We're now in two hubs, so we're in Austin and Los Angeles. So we have Garage Buddies in Austin and
Oh,
Garage Buddies in LA.
nice.
That way we can ship. And our goal is to open up an East Coast hub in Q2. So that way we distribute inventory across the three zones, and then our customers will see a benefit in the shipping rates that way.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I'm about to follow you on LinkedIn so I can keep up with that because that's really cool. I'm like the fact that you even said that you're in LA, like, because I'm like LA is even big for like creators and stuff. Because I'm like
Hmm.
Austin, like it's like all the tech, all the creators, everyone's like doing something. So I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, and I know they do that in LA. Like everyone's always trying to make something come to life.
always
So
some
that's really
building
cool.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into the nitty gritty of the business itself, let's actually kind of look into your background a little bit and what led you here. So why did you choose to go into business with someone else as opposed to maybe going into business by yourself or maybe joining another business that's like this? I'm not sure if there are other businesses like this. I haven't used one, so I wouldn't technically know, but yeah.
I think I mentioned in the beginning. So I've been in logistics for a while. Like I
Mhm.
said, kind of accidentally fell into the industry, but
Yeah.
I love it. So I've had kind of built a subject matter expertise there when it comes to just the getting packages to you, whether that's getting you something you ordered online or getting a return back to the brand, kind of forward and backwards. So kind of had that the knowledge there. And then my business partner, Petros, he is a 3X founder himself. So he's actually founded e-com brands himself, grown the business, grown his own business from doing his own fulfillment, like in his garage, literally, to
Oh,
built
nice.
standing up a
Cool.
warehouse and like seeing all the pain points that a growing brand goes through. So we've come at the problem from two sides, right? From the
Yeah.
actual like back end logistics side, which is myself, and then from the brand side being kind of what he had to do in order to grow his business. And so the conversations we started having were really just kind of discussing problems, saying, hey, this
Hmm.
sucks. This also sucks. This is expensive. So talking about how expensive it is for a brand to grow and then partner with a 3PL. Oftentimes they'll have minimums. So if you don't meet the minimum of like orders a month, kind of are priced out of the service and etc. And we started building the model very organically, like literally at a coffee shop one day, like, hey, what if we did this? Like, why do we need giant warehouses? The sort of
Yeah.
gig model has been proven out time and time again, and there's plenty of like legal precedent that already exists, right? We're not inventing something new, we're just repackaging it.
Right.
So why not use the gig model, sort of what Uber and Airbnb had kind of built out, and just position it for e-commerce. So people want to
Yeah.
make money, right? People have
Right.
space in their homes, and why not utilize that rather than just having one centralized warehouse somewhere in the middle of America that's millions of square feet? Why not just unlock residential space and let brands benefit from a faster, more flexible, agile, and
Right.
cost-effective business, because we are able to be very aggressive in our pricing, but also benefit that people are able to make money while they partner with us. So
So
win for garage buddies, win for brands.
yeah, I like that. So do the people who are like doing it in their homes, do they have to like, because you know how with like certain like whenever you're building something, you have to get like, I guess I don't know if it's like I don't know if I'm gonna say the right word, but like the right credentials or like the right papers or like you have to go to like the city or something to get
Oh,
like
no,
it
no, no,
approved
because
type
we
of thing.
don't do anything as far as build out in their houses. So
Right. Right.
imagine, yeah. So we do have a strict criteria, of course, who can be a garage buddy from like a quality assurance, security insurance
Okay.
standpoint. So you do have to own your own home. You cannot be renting, and you do have to be in a single family residence, so an actual home, not like a condo or an apartment complex. Plus a
Okay.
host of other rules. But imagine, let's say, a common use case, like you're a retiree, your
Hmm.
kids are out of the house, and you've got like two extra bedrooms and half a garage that is sitting unused. Why not utilize that? We will bring
Right.
you inventory for some of our brands or a mix of our brands, and then you get daily orders to pick and pack, put them in a box, put them in a little like mailer, and then send them off.
I like that. That's really, see, now I'm like, I wish I owned my house. I would be like, I want to do that. That's really cool. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
all I
of
have to
course,
do
like
is
I said, there's a
package
lot
it.
of
Like,
like
that's
Q
fun.
and A. There's a lot of QA that goes into that, right?
Hmm.
Of making sure that you're fulfilling properly, and if certain brands have like flyers and stickers they want to add in, certain
Yeah.
brands have
I
certain
feel like that's the
requirements.
fun part of the packaging. Whenever they have like stickers and stuff that they want to put in
Yeah,
there,
there's
I'm like,
cute, addition. The unboxing experience is important for brands, and so we want to
yes,
make sure that we meet that. But as far as that, like that's really what the model is based on. Is rather than kind of forcing ourselves or the industry, I should say, as a whole of being forced into these massive warehouses, and then you're paying for electricity, right? You're paying for internet, like
yeah,
all these fixed costs or overhead costs that a normal 3PL would have. We're just like, you know what? Let's make this happen, and have garage buddies do most of the work for us.
right. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm like, yo, the fact that you even like came up with this or whoever, I don't know who the first person was, but like that's
Since
really
Petros is not here, I'm
smart.
taking full credit for it. Hopefully, he's gonna watch this and message me. But no,
Right,
no,
like, what?
it was 100% his idea.
That is
I'll be
awesome.
honest, it was his idea.
That is so cool. So have you guys had any type of wow, my words, any type of memorable roadblocks or hurdles that you were challenged with and you were forced to overcome?
I mean, every day is something, right? I mean, that's just the challenge of owning a business. My goodness. Just figuring out, for example, how we're going to onboard customers from like a technology standpoint, right? Onboard
Yeah.
customers, keeping track of their inventory, of course, is huge, right? Making sure nothing gets lost, and then making sure that we are able to just, watch and make sure that the way that orders are packaged is accurate. That's I think the biggest one because our customers rely on that. Our
Hmm.
clients demand a certain level, like certain SLAs, of course, and we want to
Yeah.
meet them. So those are the biggest things that we're always trying to stay ahead of the game and find new ways to make sure that we don't find ourselves with a big problem on our hand.
Right. Of course. I like that. So let's talk about what makes your business so special. So who primarily does your business serve? Like if I were in the audience, how would I know that I am a great person for this service?
E-commerce brands. So if you're selling something online, e-commerce brands that are selling, non-perishables, non-hazardous materials that are not over 40 pounds, we can definitely work with them.
Awesome. I'm like, whoever is listening, you better be listening to that. That's important.
Yeah, and we work with all kinds of cool brands across lots of industries. We work with a lot of like supplement brands, health and wellness, beauty. We have a puzzle brand we work with. So we've got an apparel brand coming on.
Has there ever been a
So
brand that you were like really excited that you were like, ah, like I'm so like just glad that like they decided to like work with you guys?
there's a lot of really cool brands that are launching. So we've helped two brands launch so far, and
Oh,
that
that's
honestly
cool.
has been really fun to watch more than
Yeah,
anything because you see them kind of. They get excited when they get their orders, and I'm excited for them. So I always joke like, listen,
right.
when you make money, I make money. So I want to see you win.
I love that. That is awesome. So, what makes your business so unique, and how do you communicate that with to your customers and anyone out there?
So I mean, the Garage Buddy model is quite unique, right? It's
Yeah,
not a standard in the industry when you think of like fulfillment or deliveries or returns. So the model itself is unique. There's sometimes a lot of apprehension because the first question people ask, like, "Oh, people are storing my stuff in somebody's house, right?" It's like, "Oh, what about that?" But of course, we adhere to all of the same SLAs and rules as you would with any provider you would work with, right? So there's nothing unique about that sense or anything that would be potentially hazardous, right? Or if you think that oh, I'm getting a discount, therefore the service is crappier. So not at all. We
hmm
adhere to all the same SLAs as
I like
everybody
that.
does.
So with because you brought up a couple of different things where you said like you guys have like wellness products or like health and wellness products and stuff like that. With products that I don't know if like those products expire because I know certain things that, like they do expire and you can't use them anymore. So do you guys, if that happens, what would you do? Like, would you guys just like replace it for the person who's storing it, or like what kind of happens if that were to happen? I don't know if that's
Yeah,
happened
no,
yet, but I'm
no.
like,
We do work with some food items as well that do have, of
mm,
course, an expiration date. It really just depends on how the brand wants to manage it, because at the end of the day, we
okay,
provide a service to the e-com brand, and they have to dictate to us what they want to do with their inventory ultimately,
okay,
right? We don't like own their inventory. It's still the
right,
brands,
right,
right? So if something happens where we know, hey, we have these 7 boxes of insert product that are getting ready to expire in 2 months, let's say, or 3 months. What would you like to do with that? And then it's up to the brand. They can say, hey, let's have a flash sale. Maybe they'll say, you know what, let's see how the sales goes. Whatever we don't sell, we'll donate. So we've had a brand do that. A brand has donated some of their items that were getting ready to expire the next 2 months. They hadn't expired yet, but they were getting ready to in the next 2 months. They didn't want to continue selling it. So it's up to the brand.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, ultimately the brand is in full control of their inventory.
Okay, yeah, because I was like, what if something just like, or if something's broken or something? I thought about that. I don't know. I was just like,
Oh, I
huh,
mean, yeah, of
because
course, like at the end of the day, there's always going to be human error, right? It doesn't matter
right,
if
right,
you're working a giant warehouse or it's a garage buddy, something can go wrong, right? So
of
if
course,
a wrong item gets shipped, or sometimes rather than, 2 items, one gets shipped or something like that, we of course will remedy that for our brand. So they reach out, let us know an error was made. We log it because we do keep track of how many errors each garage buddy makes, and they do have, like I said, they have strict SLAs, so they have to stay within the
yeah,
bounds of those. So if they make more than a certain amount of errors, we can like offload them, so we can
mm,
terminate our partnership with them. But
yeah,
yeah, we'll just say, hey, an error was made. No worries. Can you please reship or ship whatever, fix the error.
awesome. At least it's like you guys can like work together, and it's not like they get like pissed off or something, and be like, well, how'd that happen? But it's also like
Yeah,
it
I
just
mean,
happens
listen,
with shipping,
errors
period.
are
Anyway,
errors are inevitable, right? They
yeah.
happen. I'm sure you've experienced something where even like from Amazon or whoever, they just shipped the
Oh
wrong
yes,
thing because a box was sitting in the wrong spot, right? Or
yeah.
something like that. So that, I think, is just, there is a normal rate of error that's to be expected. I mean, there's sometimes things happen where we will not use our route buddies because it's not a local delivery, but we use like UPS or USPS, and the package gets lost, right?
Oh,
That's going to happen, right? It's a
right.
nationwide carrier. They also, sometimes things get lost or things get delayed. So we work with our brands to make sure their customers are happy. And if we
I
need to
like that.
reship with a different service, while we wait to see if we could like find the lost item and work with like UPS or USPS or whoever, we'll do that. But those are just
Awesome.
all, pains of the industry. They're not unique
Yeah.
to us.
Right. I'm like, it's like it happens all over. I've just never spoken to anyone about it, so I kind of just wanted to know how that
Do you
went. You
have
know what I mean?
grievances about some shipping experience you had?
I I just recently, actually, this is my first time this has ever happened to me. I don't know if someone stole my package or like I don't know what happened. They said it was delivered. It was not delivered. I'm like, I literally opened my door and I'm like, it's not here. And I went to my neighbor because like sometimes we get each other's packages, but nope, wasn't there either. So I was just like, man, like this is the first time I've ever experienced someone stealing my package
Unfortunately, that does
or
happen. So
yeah, it's
it's,
like whatever.
yeah, that's why I mean, more and more, most of the, like, carriers like UPS, USPS, they do have the proof of delivery, like when they take a
Mm-hmm.
photo of the door and all that. So that's, I think that's very important to the industry, right? Because
Yeah.
unfortunately, people are people steal packages. I'm sure you've seen those like
Right. I'm like,
videos
it's
online.
common.
It's Unfortunately, it is, so that's just the world we live in, and you have to negate that as much as you can. So when we do our deliveries through Route Buddies, we always have that like proof of delivery photo at the door.
Yeah.
But
I'm
listen,
like,
once we leave, I
I
don't know,
love
I
when they do
can't
that.
like babysit. I can't
Right, right.
be
Because
security
some
guard for
people
your
will do
package.
that and then they'll still take the package. And I'm like, hold on. Like, no, what the heck? Like,
Yeah,
people, oh my God, I hate when people do that with DoorDash. I'm just like,
I
you
know.
couldn't have
It's
just
like,
went and
I
got your
can't
own
I
food.
can't be your doorman, so I will deliver it. I'll take a photo, but that's all I can do. So there are limitations, I think, to what people can do,
Yes. It's like, you can't
or
control
what
other people's
technology we can
actions.
build. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So let's talk about marketing a little bit, which I think that's vital for every business out there. And it's often a wow, I can't speak today. It's often an area that business owners struggle with. So I'm actually curious to what successful businesses are doing. I know you are a little newer, but do you know what percentage of your monthly sales is typically invested back into your marketing budget?
So because we're kind of a service-based business, a little bit different, we don't really track our numbers like that
Okay.
because the sales cycle is a bit long, right, with us. Because once, we have the discussions, a client wants to work with us, then they have to actually ship us their inventory, right? We have to, ingest it and do all that. So the cycle's a little bit long, I
Okay.
should say the pipeline is long. But what we're doing right now is we do a lot of kind of in-person expos and things like that, trying to find the right people. We've started dabbling a little bit in digital marketing. I don't really have a good, quarter worth of data to tell you how well that's doing. But it's a lot of kind of in-person outreach and a lot of like referrals.
Okay. I kind of like whenever it's like in person outreach and stuff because then like they actually see like that you're passionate about it. Like they see like who you are and like it's like trusting. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the switching of providers is a big deal, right? So
hmm
it's not a light decision to be made in that, like, oh, we'll try this new SaaS tool. If we don't like it, we can turn it off. It's a month to month fee. It's actually a big deal to switch providers. And it's a pain in the ass if you don't like them and you have to switch back and you have to move your inventory
hmm
out. It's also very expensive to do that for brands, so they don't take that decision lightly. So it's a much longer conversation. It's less than like, oh, I'll try it for a couple months. If I don't like it, I'm done. Like that's very difficult to do.
Oh, geez, man.
So we really have to like deliver on our promises because like I said, it's
Yeah.
very painful to switch providers that way.
Oh, I bet it's almost like whenever like jobs have to like switch from like their pay thing. You know what I'm talking about? Like how they're
Yeah,
being
yeah, it's
paid
like
type of
HR
thing.
tool, whatever, such a pain. Yeah, and they always seem
I'm
to be
like,
doing it. They're always
I'm like, why
every
can't
company
y'all
has
just
something. There's
find
always some
one thing?
HR, yeah, HR migration or whatever.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, like my boyfriend's his last job, they did it, I swear, like 3 times in 1 year.
It's
And he was like, this
terrifying.
doesn't make any sense. He's like, why do we have to keep switching? Because then they had to keep switching like what app they were using for like to see
Hmm.
their schedule and stuff. And he was
Yeah.
like, why? I used to be like, I don't know. I don't know. I've never had that
Don't
happen to
ask
me yet.
me. Yeah, yeah. So it's very painful, and then imagine moving inventory because that's
Oh
also
yeah.
dangerous, right? Things can get lost, fall off a truck, literally. So
hmm
that's why it's not a decision most brands take lightly, and we don't expect them to. So we're very cautious about how we onboard brands and how we get them going.
Awesome. So moving from marketing to sales, what does your sales process look like?
It's a lot of discussions, first and foremost, around the needs of the brand. As every brand is very different and how they manage. We do like to look at their sales mix across the country. So we do ask them for some data. Where they're selling. Maybe they're really hot on the West Coast. Maybe they're really hot in, I don't know, Florida or whatever, because we have to provide them some realistic numbers as far as costs would go.
Okay.
So we do a lot of digging into their business, and then we'll usually provide them with a proposal of cost structures, cost of storage, fulfillment, deliveries, returns processing. We ask a ton of questions around like how do you want to handle scenario A? How do you want to handle scenario B? What other things besides your standard order came into my Shopify store? You fulfilled it and you delivered it. What other unique things are you doing? For example, a lot of brands that work with us do a lot of like kitting for influencers, for partners, things that are like fancier boxes
Right.
than normal. So we have to account for
Yeah.
those and be ready to do those as well for them. So there's
And
a
I
lot of
love
a
those
lot of pushing.
boxes. When the influencers open them, I'm like, yo, I want one of those. I'm like, why
I
did
know,
nobody
right?
send me that?
Well, because it's real. Those packaging is very expensive. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
So
I'm
there's
like,
other
man, I
things
need
like
to
packaging
get.
requirements, right? Like, do they want us to use just the cheapest thing? Do they want a unique packaging experience? Do they want to create their own and send it to us? Right? Are they
Ooh,
for like some brands want to have their own packaging, right? And they'll send it to us.
yeah.
We'll use that, or our garage buddies will use that. So a ton of questions about how does a brand want to be represented? How do they want that unboxing experience to be like? And then we usually provide a proposal, provide our standard service agreements, operating agreements, right? And then there's oftentimes questions, red lines, well, what happens if this, what happens if that? And then once a contract is signed, then it's a matter of actually getting their inventory to be shipped to us.
I like that. I'm like, it seems like it's a long process, but I'm like, you're like getting down to business and like checking all the boxes of like, what needs to be done. So I like that.
Because most of the time we talk to brands, they know they have a need. Either they're like, listen, we've been fulfilling this ourselves and it's getting too much. We want to focus on selling and growing the brand. Like, I don't want to be packaging orders, right?
Yeah.
Or they're like, it's getting too expensive for us. We don't want to be in this warehouse. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to market, I want to grow. Or they've been with a 3PL provider and they're not having a good experience maybe, and they're looking for another option. Or like I said, a couple of brands they're like, hey, we're a new brand, we're launching. We want to focus on the launch. We want to focus on sales and growth. We don't want to deal with ops. So we're like a one-stop shop for them. We say, great, we'll take care of everything, pass someone pushing by. So instead of having to work with a million different partners, it's one of our value offerings and say, hey, you know what? Once somebody clicks buy and it's confirmed they gave you money, we'll take care of the rest.
That's awesome. I'm like, I feel like you guys take so much like weight off of businesses' shoulders. They're just like, oh, like, thank God. Because I'd be like, yeah, like, y'all take care of all that.
Well, that's what I mean. I say that all the time to our clients, like, just go sell. Go make money. We'll take care of the rest. So the way that our service structure is set up too is, when they make money, we make money, right? So they don't have to feel like we're going to nickel and dime them while they're getting off the ground for those brands that are launching. So it's worked out really well.
I like that. That's really cool. So let's fast forward and look at what's to come next. So where do you see your business in the next 3 to 5 years?
We got some lofty plans. We got some big goals. So expanding our footprint. So like I said, right now, our hubs are in Austin, where we're headquartered, and in LA. Our goal is to be on the East Coast in Q2. In 3 years, I hope to be in at least 10 large U.S. metro areas. So in Florida and the Chicago area, right? Probably up in the Seattle area somewhere like that. It's just so that our footprint is expanded and we can do more of the actual hub service, full services, meaning fulfillment, deliveries, and returns, and the doorstep returns, basically. So just growing geographically, growing our tech stack, so providing more technology offering to our customers, to a SaaS layer on top of that, and then just operational improvements and just growing the business, growing sales.
Yeah. Do you see yourself hiring more people to be on the team so that like you can take some of the weight off of you and you don't have to do so many different jobs?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. I think right now we manage, but we are getting to the place where it's getting tough. So that's why we're actually looking to fundraise so that we're able to build some technology to take off some manual processes off of our hands, but also be able to then hire people.
Like that.
To do a lot of the back end process. But the way that the model is built, we are meant to be lean. We want to be a very lean team, regardless of growth.
And I can see it. I'm like, y'all, you have the drive. I can see it like whenever we're talking. I can feel the energy through the laptop.
It's coming through.
Yes. I always tell people, I'm like, actually, I don't always tell people that, but it's like whenever I actually do feel it, I'm like, yeah, like.
I was going to say, you probably say that to all of your people that you talk to.
Never.
I'm going to go back to watch his videos. Hold on. I'm going to watch every single video.
You're like, it's right here.
Minute 2:47.
But I do tell everyone, I'm not gonna, like every single person that I've interviewed, I'm like, you guys blow my mind with the things that you guys have come up with and like started your businesses. I just don't, my brain is like, can't process.
Well, I always tell people that I think, and I really genuinely believe this, I think every single person at some point in their life has had $1 billion idea. And the ideas are not the problem. I think it's the execution. And so it's the grind the unsexy part of running a business that I think makes or breaks people.
Right. Because it's like, they don't show you the background where you're like working or like you're crying because this didn't work out or like the failures that you have. It's just, everyone's always like success.
Right.
So it's just
and
like,
it's always
that's all you see on social media.
And
so
everybody wants to be an overnight success. Just overnight took like 12 years.
Yeah, yeah, like I just want it to happen in a second, like that.
Yeah.
And it's just that's just not how it works at all.
Yeah, and listen, like we've done well so far. The business has grown, and we're having a great time. We love what we do, but by no means is it easy. There's plenty of times where we're trying to figure out a problem, or we're frustrated by, oh, you know what, we have obviously limited resources, right? We don't have
Right.
$1 million to do all the things all at once, so you have to make the
Right.
hard decisions. What do you spend money on today? What do you prioritize? What's next? And then making those hard decisions together. So by no means do I want anyone to ever think it's like all glamour all the time.
Right. Because I'm like, it's not, y'all. It's not
Yeah,
at all.
don't believe the Instagram posts. I am definitely crying somewhere.
It's like after they're successful, that's when they show like all the crying videos where they're like, or like this didn't work out. And I'm like, why didn't you show this
Yeah.
during the whole process? That
Listen,
would
if
so much better.
something can go wrong, it will. Just that's the mantra.
Yes. Well, this has been a really interesting story. I have loved hearing from you. So as we wrap up, I do have a few rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Okay. Ready.
Okay. What is the key to success for you?
Change is the only constant, so adapt or die.
Love that. What is one piece of advice that you have for other business owners?
Don't be afraid to try. Worst thing you do is fail and pivot and try something else.
Awesome. Okay. And then this one is kind of a fun question. If you had a little bit of magic dust and you could sprinkle it on one spot of your business, where would that be?
Oh my gosh, can I clone myself? Or me and my partner? Is that a fake? How magical is this dust? Okay, I want 3 of me. Actually, like I want 4 of me because I also want one to be like with the family and all the other responsibilities that I have in my life, and then I'll get like 4 of my partner Petros. Then we're taking over the world.
It'd be cool if you could be like, I don't know if you've actually seen it, like The Incredibles, like Baby Jack Jack, where he like multiplies.
Yeah, that's what I need. Exactly. I need
and then
that.
Like come back and then you like remember all of it.
I know everything. Exactly. I like that. That's the magical power I want.
Because it's like whenever they're in movies and like they have someone that looks like them or like they have a twin, so then like they switch places. It's like you don't remember what happened. So,
yeah, I don't know what the other one did. Yeah, I want the neural network to be connected is what it is.
Yeah.
Get one of that like Neuralink thing Elon Musk is working on, whatever.
Yeah, it's like,
let's do that.
Bring it back to me all in one.
There you go. I love that. Yes. Let's someone call Elon. Is on this podcast? Tell him to go work on that.
Or I'm like, Elon Musk, where you at?
Yeah, you heard me, right? Go work on that. Go be useful.
Oh my gosh. Well, before we get to the final question of the day, will you please share with our audience how they can follow you, learn more, and contact you?
Absolutely. So you follow me on LinkedIn. It's Alex Avetian. Last name is spelled Avetian. You can also follow the business. It's follow us on Instagram and on LinkedIn. It's All Around, OLOROUND. So it's a play on all around.
Mm-hmm. I love that. So we have come to that final question of the day, and it is, what is inspiring you today?
I love, and I think this is also because we talked earlier about like South by Southwest coming up here in Austin, is I love inspiring people. When I see people that have that drive, they have that like the je ne sais quoi, the spark, whatever, the X factor, whatever you want to call it, and they're really passionate and they're really excited about what they're doing. It makes me excited. So I love being around that energy.
Me too. I'm like, those are the people, I just want them all in my life every day because I just need that energy.
I just need the energy, exactly, because I think that helps me, especially if, you've been a struggle day and everything's going wrong, etc. Their energy like gives me a boost. So I like being around those types of people.
Yes, I used to have a coworker at my last job that I was at, and I swear I would be so like upset if she wasn't in the office, and I would just be so like, oh my God, like, Taylor, when are you coming home? Or like, not home, but like, when are you coming back to the office?
No Debbie Downers here, okay? Can't be around that. So I love inspiring people. Inspire me, I guess is the way to say that.
Yes, that's the best thing. Okay, well, this has been a great conversation. I really enjoyed hearing your story. So thank you for sharing it, Alex.
So thank you for having me.
Yes. And also, I just want to encourage all of you who are watching to save this show and come back and watch it again because Alex really did have some great insights for business. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so that you can get notifications every time a conversation drops, just like this one. Thank you to everyone who joined us today. And a special thank you to you again, Alex, for being here with us today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.